You guys loved it last week when I explained how stories move markets faster than math ever does. And it makes sense. As human beings, we tend to pick our own version of the truth, right? And that's especially true in 2026, where we're all living a pick your own adventure book every single day. Here's the headline or the video footage or the plain fact. Go to page 25 if you're a liberal, go to page 45 if you're conservative to see what happens next. Just a theory, but I actually have two other theories that are being tested in real time right now. The first is that there is, in fact, a lot of pent-up demand amongst Americans for homes, and that they will latch on to any headline, any shred of hope that gives them permission to buy a home this year. The second theory is that 2026 will be one of the last best entry points into the real estate market for at least a few years. So how are these theories being tested? Stay with me. I'm writing this on Thursday afternoon because your girl is out of office as you're reading this on Friday. Just kidding. I'm never out of office. You can totally reach me for anything you need because I will bring my laptop to the Backstreet Boys concert. I mean, honestly, if I can get it past the metal detector, I'll bring it into the sphere. But on Thursday, today for me, yesterday for you, I'm currently looking at mortgage bonds, which are nearly 40 basis points in the green. That's a huge improvement. It's in fact remarkably similar to what we saw after Trump made his $200 billion announcement. What caused today's rally? A couple of things, but the main one was a weak JOLTS report. JOLTS is a report from the Bureau of Labor Statistics that shows job openings. The market was expecting today's report to show 7.2 million job openings as of December of 2025. It came in at 6.5 million, which is the lowest level since 2020. And the November numbers were also revised down. We're missing a jobs report today, Friday, for you, from the BLS due to a mini shutdown at the government this week. It's been postponed to next week, which is giving some other jobs reports more weight than they usually get in terms of market reactions. The Challenger job cut report showed 108,000 job cuts in January. That was triple the number of job cuts we saw in December. January is usually higher, but not triple. Then the Revelio private labor market report showed 13,000 job losses in January. ADP did show 22,000 job gains, but that was weaker than expected. So some are saying labor market is showing clear signs of weakness. And we know the Fed only has two jobs, right? Keep inflation under control while supporting the labor market. Did this week's data pave the way for a rate cut? Well, maybe. But maybe I lied to you about this data being the main thing causing a rally in mortgage bonds right now. You know, I'm going to die on this hill that math doesn't move markets. It's all about the stories and narratives being carefully crafted by a couple of guys pulling a lot of strings. The main thing moving markets right now could be our incoming Fed Chair Kevin Warsh's comments about AI. He said he wants to cut rates because he thinks an AI boom will boost productivity so much so that the Fed could cut rates without worrying about inflation. He thinks this looming shock coming from AI will change how we think about inflation in general. In his view, if productivity explodes, like he thinks it will, the economy can grow fast, incredibly fast, without prices increasing. So the Fed wouldn't have to keep rates high to keep spending under control. His logic, step by step, let's break it down. Inflation is not only about demand, right? The other side of that coin is supply. Inflation happens when too much money is chasing too few goods. So the maker of these goods can increase their profit margins, raise prices, without worrying about losing their buyer pool. Warsh is assuming that AI will automate what has been expensive white-collar work the way machines automated factories. AI will allow fewer workers to produce much, much more output. This will reduce costs across many industries, from logistics to healthcare to finance to even construction. If one worker can do the work of 5 people, labor costs fall. Lower costs equals less inflation pressure. Our previous reality, the way the math has always worked, lower rates, more spending, higher inflation concerns. Warsh's bet, lower rates plus surging productivity equals non-inflationary growth. It's kind of a have your cake and eat it too scenario, but I think it just might be realistic. What do you think? Regardless of what you and I think, markets seem to think it's great. They're loving it today. So here's where I'm being tested on my theories. We're seeing a similar improvement today in rates from more than what we saw from Trump's announcement. But the difference is this isn't being publicized in the same way. It's not going to get as much media attention. Will we still see a jump in mortgage applications like we did after Trump's announcement? Don't forget the kicker about Trump's announcement. He is his own worst enemy, remember? He made that announcement on a Thursday, but Friday they served Powell with a subpoena for an investigation into the Federal Reserve. Markets didn't like that, so by Monday we had given back a lot of our gains. Buyer activity still continued, with people all over the country waking up to update their pre-approval, calling their realtor to sell. They saw that Trump was paying attention to housing, and they started packing. They said they were waiting for lower interest rates all along. But interest rates didn't move for them all that much. Maybe half a point if they locked in at the exact right moment really quickly. The math on their affordability was essentially the same as it had been the week before. Now I'm watching a similar improvement in bonds happen right now. So for the folks who really mean it about needing a lower rate in order to move, the math is mathing right now. But will we see a jump in mortgage applications and buyer activity based on this math? Or is the story, or the person yelling the story, not loud enough here?